Just as it said, let's get cracking into it. The best video games based on Griff's rules he laid down. First one I don't have the box for, so you're going to have to do with the facsimile. But Wing Commander Privateer was possibly the best game I ever played on the PC. Why? It was totally immersive. You really felt like you were out there, just doing your own thing across the stars. Yeah, there was some storyline, but for the most part, you just basically went around, did a few missions, shipped a few transports, bang bang zoom, no problem. Another thing I'm cheating on. Virtua On, that series in the arcades, that was my favorite in all the arcade series. I used to play a game called Cyber Sled, which was like Virtua On, but in Virtua On, your tanks could jump, and that was pretty cool. You had to admit that. On the Atari 2600, my favorite game is Laser Blast. Laser Blast by Activision. It's the one I always go back to. It's the one I have the most fun with. On the Dreamcast, Jet Grind Radio. There's nothing else that needs to be said about that. Running around, spraying things, grinding, no problem. On the Neo Geo Pocket, Color, Match of the Millennium. When the SNK vs. Capcom craze came around and it was on every system and everything else, Neo Geo Pocket definitely brought out a superior fighting game for a handheld system. Speaking of handheld systems, when it comes to the DS, I love Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. That's possibly my favorite game on that system. As opposed to the rest of the Metroidvanias, this one seems to have a lot more ground and a lot more reason to play it again. Now, I could go on and on about Final Fantasy Tactics for the PlayStation, but you can get that on any system, so I'm going to go with Trap Gunner. That's actually one of my favorites. It's an isometric top-down game where you have to use traps and your gun to kill your enemy in many different rounds, then finally go up against the big boss. Also disable traps and everything else. It's really fun, and everyone should try and find a copy of it. On the PlayStation 2, Katamari Damacy. Now, while there are a lot of great PS2 titles, this one's the one I seem to always go back to, and a lot of other people will gladly play it with me. On the Wii, same thing kind of goes for Mario Kart Wii. It's the one that has the most exposure. It's one of the games that I tend to just pick up and go back again. All the rest seem to be, well, I'm done. I'm going to finish that right now. Finally, on Xbox, this one should be no surprise, Knights of the Old Republic. Knights of the Old Republic, it brought back my faith in RPGs on a console again, and it was just a really great story. I just couldn't put it down. I'm not even a Star Wars fan, but that really worked for me. So there it is. There's my top 10. One on each system, one in each series. Take care.